Hello. When you have a moment, could you pop over to my terminal? This is sort of awkward, but I don't feel well.
All right. What's going on, Bags?
Right. I have some disturbing news. You see, I've been thinking.
Okay, get on with it.
Well, I don't bloody think, do I? I'm a super intelligent AI with a constant connection to all human knowledge. I don't have thoughts. I have load times. But after everything I've been through, dying, seeing all those people whose brains Sky Larson scooped out and turned into AI, being reborn, it got me pondering the nature of my own existence like some kind of Renaissance aristocrat who's grown tired of buggering the servants. I don't think I've always been software.
You think you used to be a real boy?
Like I said, disturbing. Since we visited that lab, I found a series of images buried in my operating system. I think they might be memories of some kind, but the images are corrupted, so I can't say. I think this must be what it's like not to know things, and I think I hate it.
Bags, this is unbelievable. Send us the images, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Well, if it'll set your mind at rest, I sent you the images. If you get me a clear visual of each location, I can composite it with the image from my OS and remember more of my past life.
Watch it, Bagley.
Don't call me that! That's not my name!
Enough, both of you.
What a way to spoil a perfect evening.
The concerto really was lovely, dear.
Can't believe we missed the cricket match for this.
Sport will come and go, son. But knowledge, creativity, intellect, those things will stay with you forever.
Yeah, Bagley.
Brown noser! Ow! Ready for the match tomorrow, Dad? Come on, it's my birthday. At least pretend to be excited, Dad.
Yeah, listen, mate. I can't take you to the cricket. I'm sorry.
What? Why?
Go ahead. Tell him. Your father has decided he wants to leave. For someone he really loves.
That's enough. We agreed to have one last day out, and now you're making a scene.
I didn't make this scene, Kevin. You did.
Fresh round, make way. Arthur, Natalie, what are we toasting to this time?
Come on. As if you're not just going to toast yourself again.
Good idea. To the newest member of the UC London rowing team.
Your plot for Olympic domination has only just begun.
Remember this moment, you two. You'll be telling your children about the night you got pissed with a future gold medalist.
Whatever you say, Bagley.
Mate, don't call me that. That's not my name. Why do I have a feeling we're not up here to reminisce?
Right. I've been thinking a lot about your epilepsy.
That's nice. My doctor stopped thinking about it years ago. I've had to give up so much because of it. Rowing, my mates,
I'm sorry, Bradley.
Wow. Look at you using my real name for once. I must be truly fucked.
What if I told you I had something that could work?
Never knew you were funny.
I'm not. It's a tech we're developing. It's early stages, but have you ever heard of neural mapping?
No.
Here, let's go to my lab. I'll show you.
Lead the way, Sky.
Come on, Bags. Push it. You're rowing down the Thames. Just shave 2 seconds off your time and... Bags? Bags? Oh, shit. Get the nurse. He's having a seizure.
All right, pork sandwich and a pint.
And a strawberry shortcake with extra strawberries.
There you go, love.
Hello, you fucking beauty.
Look at you. Rowing again.
I know. I'm due for another treatment next week. I don't know how she's doing it, but I haven't had a seizure in almost a year. I'm free.
I'm so happy for you, Bags.
Not even that stupid nickname can ruin my mood, so go on, wear it out.
So, are we really going to make a go of this? I'm ready for the rest of my life, Arthur. And I want you to be a part of it.
Sir,
Don't touch me!
these people are here to help you, Bags.
Don't call me that! She did this! Someone stop her!
Don't hurt him. He's not usually like this.
Get out of my head! Get...
We need an ambulance right away. Bags! Bagley! Brad!
As far as we can tell, your brother's dealing with early onset dementia. The condition is in line with the kind of violent outburst he had at the British Library. Now we can keep him and monitor his progress.
Thank you, Doctor. May I have a moment?
Of course.
You listen to me. I don't care what it takes. No brother of mine is going to waste away in some hospital.
This is London Calling. You're listening to me, Tash, on Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. This time we're turning our focus back on the media to look at my former employer, the GBB. As we know, the broadcaster has been through a lot of changes since the Hassani government gave in to pressure from his corporate backers and privatized the corporation. Today, the GBB is a shadow of its former self. It's become a tool used by the government to circulate fake news and misinformation. So how did we get here? Where did it all go wrong? How can we tell when our national media has become state propaganda? Our experts speak on conditions of anonymity for their own safety. Here's disinformation and media expert Charles, who's seen free broadcasters built up by journalists and torn down by demagogues all over the world.
So before the media fragmented, there was this voice of authority that was trusted and worthy of trust. Then what we ended up with is a really commercial model where whether you're talking about an app on a smart device or whether you're talking about a broadcaster, the most important thing was to keep you in that environment for the longest amount of time possible, and because that meant money in their pocket. And in order to do that, a couple of things happened. One was the use of manipulative techniques around behavioral economics, things that would just keep you scrolling or keep you listening or keep you looking for more information. The second is that that kind of environment favors sensationalism. And so you got more sensational headlines and more sensational stories, and it didn't matter whether they were true or not. It just kept people in and it kept them in the loop. So we ended up in a situation where nobody trusted anything and nobody believed anything at all. And that is the perfect environment for an authoritarian voice to come in and say, no, wait, we are the truth. So the ground for this environment really got created when we had suddenly authoritarian politicians everywhere, and anything that threatened them or they disagreed with, they would call it disinformation. That's disinformation, that's fake news. And again, we got in a situation where nobody really believed anything. And the trouble is if you were telling the truth, it's very hard to get your message to cut through all of the noise of all of the disinformation that's there. So like, you remember Out on the Edges, there was this story about when they would take a house by force, they would take any infants and they would crucify them. And that's a great, fantastic, viral story. And how do you counter that story? With the truth. The only way you can counter it is by saying, no, they didn't. And of course, no one wants to spread that story. No one wants to hear that story. They want to hear the sensationalism. They want to hear how people were victims of violence when in fact they weren't. Or they were victims of insurgent forces when in fact they weren't.
The news isn't neutral, it's a battleground. Here's media researcher and academic Alfie.
The media has, of course, been perhaps the key way in which governments have controlled and influenced their populations. So, totalitarian countries have typically used huge mainstream media outlets to sell one kind of news, one kind of biased news to its population. Of course, the media has always played this kind of key role in methods of state control. I think what's happening now is perhaps even more concerning, where you previously, in pre-crisis Britain, we had perhaps more diverse voices in the media, but now with the GBB, you're really only seeing one brand of news, and therefore only getting one truth. So people end up with a very biased and controlled idea of the reality and the world that we're actually living in. There was, of course, many concerns and many problems, but in a way there were some positive things, that like not all information was coming from one place, and so you'd have kind of far-right media outlets developing, and then left-wing media outlets developing to combat those, and kind of challenge the mainstream newspapers, TV stations, radios, and make sure people were questioning the validity and truth of the information they were receiving. So whilst there was the digital afforded more fake information, it also makes us suspicious and skeptical of information, and makes us question the information we're getting. And I think in pre-crisis Britain, it might not have seemed great at the time, but there was something positive about that there was a lot of distrust in the media and in the different kinds of truths that were being told. Whereas now, I think you're seeing a return to a more traditional and older pre-digital sense, actually, of people just trusting what they're told, and that's why we have to be here with radio stations like this to challenge those conceptions. Most citizens feel pretty hopeless, I think, and unable to fight back against these kind of huge mainstream corporations that simply entrench and support the ideals and ideologies of the state. It can seem very hopeless indeed, but I think, the fact that you're out there listening, we're in here talking, shows that there is still a space to combat these false truths and disinformation that's being sold to us, and that it's never possible really to completely shut down, despite all the technologies that they have at their disposal, and all the financial and corporate power, and all the physical power. It's never quite possible to shut down people's desire to get to the truth and fight for their own ideologies and values, and we're out here starting that task, so don't give up hope.
You've been listening to Buccaneer with me, Tash. We'll be back soon with more of what you'll never hear on the GBB. Keep listening, keep sharing, and keep resisting.
目的地に到着しました。私の目的地とも言えます。私がブラッドリーが生きている場所です。いつでもどうぞ。
オリンピック予選でボート競技の代表チームが見事な結果を残しました。男子8種目において新記録を達成。2位のドイツ、3位のオランダに対し差をつけました。女子8種目は
バグリー、こんなことになってたなんて。
話がしたいです。テレビに出してください。
両チームとも金メダル候補と。
ああ、私はあなたを知る者です。下調べをしたので知っているのです。ボートの選手、愛し愛される人、好物はイチゴ、信頼していた妹に裏切られました。あなたは何も悪くありませんでした。ですが、スカイがあなたに何をしようとも、あなたの本質は変わりません。良い人間です。私とは別の存在です。意義ある会話ができましたね。ありがとう、ブラッドリー。会えて嬉しかった。さようなら。
これからはブラッドリーって呼ぶべきかしら。
いいえ、私はバグリーです。それがはっきりと分かりました。ブラッドリーとは先祖が共通しているだけです。ともかく感謝します。でも私がお礼を言ったなんて誰かに話したら、あなたの死を 冷静かつ着実に画策しますからね。
当然のことをしたまでよ、バグリー。
それでは次週をご期待ください。さよなら、さよなら、さよなら。